They said it was just a drill. But what if I told you FEMA's recent blackout simulation wasn't about preparation? It was about execution. Across the country, emergency services ran coordinated exercises for a total grid-down scenario. But online? A growing number of people are convinced these aren't just what-if scenarios. They're practice runs for a coming false flag, an EMP or cyberattack that could be used to bring down the power grid and reset society itself. Imagine waking up and nothing works. No power, no cell service, no internet, no answers. Then imagine the government saying, "Stay indoors, this is for your safety." Sound familiar? Let's break down why some believe FEMA's grid-down test is not a test at all, but the beginning of something much darker. In 2024, and again in mid-2025, FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security conducted nationwide blackout simulations. The official reason? To prepare for the increasing risk of cyberattacks on infrastructure, especially from foreign adversaries. Utilities, emergency responders, and state agencies were told to practice how they'd respond if the entire U.S. power grid went down. They called it a tabletop exercise. But it wasn't just paper. There were live drills in multiple cities. And that's where things get strange. Here's where the conspiracy begins. Some believe this isn't about reacting to an attack. It's about orchestrating one. What if FEMA and DHS are preparing for a planned blackout? A false flag event blamed on a foreign actor or rogue cyber group. But behind the scenes, it's an inside job designed to collapse the economy, reset digital systems, and enforce martial law. Sounds far-fetched? Maybe. But here's what's fueling the paranoia. One version of this theory involves an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse, either from a high-altitude nuke detonation or a satellite weapon. The result? Every electronic system fails instantly. No cars, no planes, no banking, no communication. The US would be plunged into chaos in seconds. Some researchers say FEMA's drills mirror the exact sequence of events that would follow an EMP event. Even more chilling? Several government documents from the 1990s and 2000s openly discuss this as a real threat. But the theory says they're not just worried about it. They're getting ready to pull the trigger. Then there's the cyber-attack theory. If you stage a cyber-attack, you don't need to launch a bomb. You just need plausible deniability. You could blame Russia, China, North Korea, even hacktivists. But while the media runs wild with speculation, behind closed doors the government seizes control, declares a state of emergency, locks down transportation, rations food and fuel, and enforces compliance through digital ID or biometric checkpoints. Here's what really sets off red flags for conspiracy theorists. Predictive programming. In the years leading up to the drills, we saw TV shows about cyber blackouts, video games featuring EMP scenarios, FEMA-funded media showing collapse events. Even World Economic Forum simulations like Cyber Polygon eerily mirrored what FEMA is now practicing. Was this prepping the public, or were they softening us for acceptance? If the grid goes down tomorrow, for real, you'll have less than 72 hours before grocery stores are empty, water stops flowing, emergency services collapse, martial law begins. And that's when the public will beg for control, for order, for safety, and those in power will offer it with a digital leash attached.
Whoa, where's the rest?
Never met the quota.
My units are up from last week.
So is the quota.
Maybe FEMA's test is just that, a test. But when every test seems to line up with every dystopian theory we've ever feared, it's hard not to ask the question, what are they really preparing for? And when the lights finally go out, will you still believe it's just a